U2NIVERSITY is sponsored by Marco's Pizzeria and Grill in Aston, PA. Make sure you go and try one of their specialty salads, my personal favorite, the tequila lime salad. Or you can go and try their buffalo chicken pizza. Welcome to U2NIVERSITY and welcome our special guest, Miss Jada Smith. How you doing, sis?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. So we've known each other for quite some time.
Yes.
I know. What was it? I can't remember how old you were.
I started at Delco, I think at 7.
7. So I was at least 8 or 9 or whatever the case may be. I don't remember. But so we're gonna get right into it. Like track. That's what, I mean, I know your first love is basketball, but track was your thing for a long time. So let's dive into a little bit of Delco and how you got started with track and everything like that.
Okay, so basically I kind of started running because I used to be a little heavy set, and my gym teacher, he was like, if you put her in track, like, she'll lose a lot of weight and get faster on the court. So everybody's like, all right, let's go. First day of track practice, I cried the whole practice. The whole practice. And so I went home. I was like, I don't want to go back. Next day, it gets around like 4 o'clock. I'm like, I'm going to track practice. It was like, okay. My parents like, okay, hey, if you want to go, cried again the next day. But I ended up loving it, to say the least. But it just took some time. I think I fell in love with the family atmosphere of track, especially at Delco, more than anything. And that's what kept me to stay, indoor, outdoor, cross country. Right. And just seeing the success with it. I think whenever I reflect about track, I always say it's more individual. Right. Basketball is team, but you have individual stats. But the individuality of running track, it teaches you a lot about yourself, how you can push yourself, why everyone's watching you, how do you want to do this. But my journey with track my success was great. My emotions regarding track, I used to cry before every meet, and then I'll go out and win, cry again. I didn't know why I was crying, but I think it's just like nerves and stuff. I didn't really know how to control it at the time, but it's beautiful to see just like how it worked out for me, and it only started because someone told me, hey, just go try it out. Right. It'll help you on the court. Right. So yeah,
it's kind of crazy. Our stories kind of align because that's why I started track. I mean, track was a way to get in shape for me for football. Mm-hmm. And then that linked because Coach Moody was coaching, or not coaching, but Emil played with me at 69th Street, so it was like 69th Street was all about the weight stuff and everything like that. And Coach Moody was like, well, it's time to come to the track team and get right with Delco. And then that's where everything kind of fell in line. So that's kind of crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But so talk a little bit about, I know you just kind of reflected on how it was individual, but y'all had a amazing relay team. That relay team, Delco was big when we were younger, and it's still a great team and everything like that now. But there were, I don't even know how many kids were on our team back then. It was a lot of kids on our team. But y'all were nah, we gotta make sure we watch Jada and Sid and Destiny and Janice. We gotta make sure we watch. So dive into a little bit of that.
Oh man, I don't even know where to start, to be honest with it, because Coach Link did a great job of knowing how to put us together, how to get the success. We just knew how to work with each other, honestly. We loved each other. We had a sisterhood. We had a bond on and off, on the track. So I think that helped translate to our success as well, especially, the baton passes and everything. You really have to be on point with that. It was fun, though. Yeah. It was fun. Like, I didn't cry before that race. Like, I didn't cry before that one. But it was like, it was so fun. We knew what we had to do for each other without even saying it. Like, okay, we got to get this far. All right, if he does this order, we're going to make sure this person, that type of thing. And, I mean, they all stayed with it and did really well with their success in track and field. So, I mean, kudos to them for that. And I look back, we were in newspapers. We still have the batons at home with our breaking records and everything. So, when you're young, I feel like you don't even know all that you're doing. And now you look back, you're like, wow, we really did that.
Yeah, y'all were the bomb.
Yeah. We had a lot of fun though doing it. It was lots of fun.
Yeah. So, I mean, let's dive into basketball. I mean, that's your first love, and I it's crazy. I remember, so again, we were young, but I remember Sixers camp. It was me, you, Dion, Jeremiah. And Sixers camp. And I remember, I think that weekend, or whatever, it was a weekend, I think you won some type of something. We were like, what? Like, but I know that for you, that meant a lot to you, even at that young age, because even then, like, again, it all ties back to everything. Like, you even went here and you were playing basketball outside with us, out at that little court that's still down there. You were the only girl playing. So, like, back then, even I knew, like, you really love basketball because you're out here playing with us and whatever the case may be. So talk a little bit about what got you into the sport.
Kind of got me into the sport. My dad played, so I was kind of around it. I had uncles that were playing. And I kind of just enjoyed being around everybody. So that's kind of how it started, on me just liking the sport, me falling in love with the sport, realized I was kind of good. So I was like, all right, the ball's going in. I really could shoot when I was younger. So it was like, okay, like, that was cool. And I was always pretty tall for my height. Me and Des actually played at Coach Leon's league in Yaden together. And they called us the Twin Towers. We were that taller than everybody. So it was so easy for us to score. And just kind of just staying with it. I always liked defense, and I was like quick at that time because we're running track. So I think for me, just seeing the hard work paying off. Like, I want to make sure whatever I'm putting out, I can see some results. So that's kind of how I begin to love it, and then wanted to get better. Didn't mind, falling short, trying to figure out how do I get better at this and that type of thing. But yeah, I mean, it just kind of went from that, just being around it, to then seeing, oh, okay, this pretty good. Like, and then being around the boys, I mean, they make you tough. So I used to play football in that recess yard too. So, and I love how y'all all protected me. It's like, don't push her. 2-hand touch only. But unfortunately, my dad said I couldn't play football. So this was the only spot that my career started and ended. But no, it just kind of makes you tough. And once you realize you can play kind of against guys, you can hold your own.
Right.
It builds that more confidence to go in a more, just against girls. So that's kind of how it happened.
Okay. So you went to high school at Marion Mercy Academy, right? Had a great high school career. You surpassed 1,000 points, correct? Yes. What was that feeling like?
I should have got it sooner. Honestly, freshman year, I had a really, really good season. That was my best season. I was between top 1 and first and third within the state of scoring. So I scored almost 500 points my freshman year. So that's why I say I should have had it sooner. But things took a turn, and it's fine. The feeling of scoring 1,000 points, I never really was a heavy stat person. It was kind of like, okay, I'm close to it. Like, somebody had to tell me, like, you're getting close to it. And I was like, okay. And then my coach said, do you want to get it today or you want to get it at the next game? And a lot of my family came to that game. So I was like, I guess I'll just stay in and get it now. And then literally when you see the video, like, I just did a little Euro step. I scored and I just ran back. Like, I just act like it was normal. I didn't see the hype of it, but I know it's a great accomplishment.
Yes.
Where I'm only top 5 out of the whole school. We only have 5 people. So,
wow.
Yeah,
okay.
It's pretty big for them. So, yeah.
Okay. So, 2-time McDonald's All-American nominee. First team All-Mainline, right? First team All AACA, if I'm saying that right. Mm-hmm. Right? So, those are a lot of accolades for high school. Dive into a little bit of that. You know, what do you feel like kind of pushed you to get to that point?
I never knew what I was playing for, so I didn't have the pressure of that.
Okay.
I kind of just wanted to be the best I could be in almost every category. Like, that was the thing. Like, I want my stat line to be loaded with almost everything besides turnovers.
Right.
But, like, so it just was wanting to help the team, wanting to see success, and just pushing myself. Like, I knew my coach trusted me. Coach Baxter, shout out to him. Like, he trusted me. Like, he just was like, look, I need you to do this. And that was what it was, you know, like, all right, I had a play called Celtics because I love the Celtics. So, and I was like, you know, when you needed to go get a bucket, I knew to go get a bucket. It was just kind of, in a humble way, I didn't realize everything that I realize now. Like, it took some time to really see everything that maybe other people could see in me and I didn't see in myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, talk a little bit about AAU, how that played a part in your journey, and everything.
Okay, so I started AAU track first, so 7 to 13. Then I just go play in this all-star game. Okay. And the coach at Philadelphia Bells, Mike Flynn, he's like, hey, we need her on our team. So they called me up. You know, we went through that whole process of trying to get out there. We go to try out, to work out and everything. That first workout, I'm telling you, everybody's doing like Euro steps. They're doing in and outs. I was raw talent. Like, I'm just jab stepping and going by people because I'm fast. Like, I did not know. So it was a learning experience. But they wanted me there for a reason. And so it made me want to work hard and, like, see, okay, you don't know all these things, but it's okay. Like, I started in 9th grade. Like, you know, so I call myself a late bloomer, but I'm thankful for the opportunities. So, you know, I really started taking basketball serious in 9th grade when I had that call. And then I stayed with the EYBL and then went to the elite team my last year just to better showcase myself. Coach Petey, all time, one of the best coaches I ever met in my life. I'm going to shout her out all day, anytime I can, but she's just a great person, but a great coach as well. And she just helped me see more of myself than, honestly, I was struggling with AAU. I wasn't short, but I wasn't tall, you know, that type of thing. So, like, I'm driving to the lane, somebody's squatting my stuff. I'm like, wait a minute. But I had to learn how to score against taller guards and then learning how to make the extra pass or pulling up, you know, those things. So it helped expand me and prepare me for the next level. I think that's when I was like, okay, it's going to go up and down, but you're going to get to the finish line eventually. Right. Yeah.
So what was your recruiting process like?
First time. We'll do first time.
First time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Transfer portal.
Right.
All right, first time. It was good. I remember my first call. I'll never forget it. It was Siena University. I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh my God. Like, I was like, it really happened. Like, they're really looking at me. Like, it was amazing. So I think it's exciting.
Right.
It's exciting. You put a lot of emotions to it. Just to know, like, a coach, a university. At that point, it became, like, surreal. Like, this is really happening. Once again, I was out there just playing basketball. I knew coaches were out, like, coming to our games, but I didn't really know the process that I was walking into. So once the process really happened, I was like, okay, this is cool. This is nice, you know, and You got to meet decent people I can still talk to this day, even though I didn't go to their school. Like, those type of things I think are really important. So for me, it was up and down. I started getting heavy D1s. I'm going on unofficials. I'm there. I'm getting great schools. But I ended up going to a Division II, which is fine for me. I was content. I wasn't into the hype, so it was good for what I wanted, and what timing I wanted to get on the court. You know, so yeah, it was good. It was good. I met some good people.
So you ended up going to Holy Family, right? You had a great freshman year, right? Talk a little bit about the transition from high school, you know, doing in your career that you had in high school, going into the college basketball atmosphere.
I think that's a great question. That's a great question because I was coming from still being, you know, the top, and then I went into my freshman year as a starter, which you deal from pressure from, you know, a freshman starting. You know, people had expectations to be able to play. Shout out to Coach Melissa Dunn and Coach Niche, because they really they play hand in hand on helping me prepare for that, along with my family support. But they really help. How do I say this? Like, they pushed me past limits. Like, they were like, hey, you gotta look at your body language. Like, look at this. Like, hey, this is the way to score. We need you to do this. We need you to be out there. We can't have an off day because Jay wanted to have an off day today. Like, you gotta still contribute, push through that. And you go through those, you know, you're a freshman, so I'm kind of going through the learning and trying to balance everything at the same time. So it was a great transition over, because I got to keep my position as being a scorer and a leader in that way on the court. But the demands became different. That's where I'll say, you know, it was every rep we going hard. You have no time to maybe go 75%. Everything is 100. And just understanding the system, because that's a whole different speed. That's a whole different execution on what you want and how you want to, you know, win the game. So it taught me a lot in different ways. I always look back, like, I used to be like, oh my God, my coach is always on me. My coach is just always, and I look back now, I'm like, man, they really love me. Like, and I didn't know that, but they really did love me. And, you know, I think I'm still thankful that we still have a relationship, even though, you know, I transferred. But little did I know. Little Jay didn't know, but it was preparing me for something. You know, I just didn't know, but it was good. It was good.
So you talk about kind of the demand as a freshman, the push from your coaches. How did that not necessarily take a toll, but what space did that put you in mentally?
I think I'm a person, I'm going to push through and I'm going to cry to my parents. Like, I'm just keeping it, especially with me still being in Philadelphia, I had that support to be right there. But I also could, when I calmed down, I could have the dialect conversation, you know, and be like, hey, I didn't really like that, or, you know, we could talk about it. Me and my coaches were really close. It just took time to be able to talk about it. And that's one thing that, you know, I didn't know. How to be like, hey, coach, I didn't really like how you talked to me yesterday. Like, sometimes that's just going to happen. So once I understood a little bit more, it was kind of like, okay. But mentally, I say the mental toll didn't weigh on me until injury. I got injured my freshman year. I fractured my third toe first. Thought it was the end of the world. The end of the world. Like, I look back, I was like, I don't want to go to class. I don't want to do nothing. I can't play basketball. Like, I was really going through it. I was like, don't turn the lights on. Like, little stuff. But looking back, I was depressed. Like, that's what it was. And I just couldn't believe that something was snatched away from me that fast on, like, my toe. Like, like out of all things. I'm like, are you serious? So that's when I think the mental toll weighed on me. I kind of just was like frustrated. I didn't really know how to communicate to anyone what I was feeling. I kind of was just writing, you know, I write a lot. So I'm just writing my letters to God. I'm like praying about it. I'm mad at God. Like, why would you do this to my toe? How long is this toe going to feel better? We had a chance to play in playoffs. So I'm like, can it be better by playoffs? But that was probably my first time, because that was the first time anything has fully been snatched away from me.
Okay.
That, that was like mine. Like this is what I do.
Yeah.
More so than a person, if you understand.
Yeah. So, I mean, I definitely know how that is with injury, because I tore my ACL my senior year of high school. So it's like any injury, in any sport, it, like you said, it's snatched right away. Like and I'm glad, like you said, like you were kind of figuring out how to deal with that mentally, whether if it was writing or going to talk to mom and dad, or kind of just taking your space for yourself.
Yeah.
Because we need that, and not everybody knows how to deal with it. So, kind of talking about injury and staying on that topic, that wasn't your only injury. Yeah. So talk a little bit about the other injuries and how that first injury helped you get through the others.
Yeah, because that is exactly what it did. It helped me get through the others.
Right.
So I say my biggest one was tearing my ACL, my
right.
MCL, sophomore year, 4th game in. I didn't feel good that whole day. Like that whole morning, I was like, I felt off.
Right.
But I started the game feeling great. So I was like, okay, like we playing, this is a good game. I was playing really well, and just so happened, I set a screen. I slipped on the screen. And my person gave me like an air pass, and I twisted my body. And, I'll never forget that cry. But in that moment, I cried. I punched the ground a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
They got me up eventually, because being a big baby. They got me up. They moved me to the side. And I said to my grandmama, I said, can we pray? That's the first thing I said. And so I feel like at that moment, like I knew God was in it throughout the whole process. And so that for me was probably my peace with it. Like, yes, I had my days that I was just like, I was mad, didn't really want to talk to anybody. But for the most part, I was a lot stronger than I was with my little fractured toe.
Right.
I just felt like he was there. He was wrapping his arms around me. God was there throughout that whole time, that process. It makes me emotional. I'm trying to stay strong. But it's just amazing how you have to learn how to walk, cut, run, and then, for me to get back out there and, then go through the transfer process. So I would say that injury was my biggest, and it taught me a lot about how to make sure you have other sources, because I like to run, and I couldn't go run to find my peace anymore. That's a 9-month recovery. So, my toe was like a month and I was tripping. Like, this is a lot longer. So honestly, I began writing poetry, and that poetry, like I went on a podcast, talked about my poetry. Now my poetry is in a magazine. Like, it helped me navigate in different ways than just, being stuck. Like, I can't believe I can't play basketball right now.
Right.
It was, it expanded me, and I learned how to be very, very supportive and learn the game from that sitting point of view.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, going from Holy Family to Clarion, what kind of drew you to Clarion? What was the atmosphere like? Talk a little bit about that.
What drew me to Clarion, I would say, I got a shout out to my president. Well, she was my president at my university, but Dr. Dell, my coach at that time, she had the president of the university come meet with me in a restaurant. And, in Clarion, it's a small town, so it's like a home restaurant. And she sat with me there. She got to know me. I got to know her. And whenever I go to a school or a university, I'm always looking for something I could have potential to be. Like, even if I don't want to be that, but just about that character of the person, something to strive towards. And that's something that I realized with Dr. Dell. Like, okay, she's an amazing woman that's willing, like, she's taking care of a whole university, but she's sitting right here with me.
Right.
That's something different. College coaches, I'm giving you guys a tip. See? Look at that. Anyway. No, but honestly, that was a moment for me, it made me realize the community of the school. I wanted to go away. I felt like I needed to be further from home, not just home itself, but just from people, everybody in Philly who already knew me. I was kind of a person that you say you need me, I'm here, I'm there, and I never was having time for self.
Right.
So being out there, I had that time. I learned how to cook better, different things to prepare you for the real world.
Right.
So I personally, those things was what I was looking for. I wasn't looking for the parties. I wasn't looking for, the extra stuff. I was going in. They had my major. I could go get my master's, and I'm playing basketball for free. Okay. So, that's
it.
That's what it's about.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about the team structure at Clarion, how everything worked out for you there, and what your final years of playing college basketball was like, with Clarion.
I don't even know how to make this sound. No, honestly, it was a learning experience. That's the best way to put it. It was a learning experience, and I don't want to just say I learned through life, because you do learn through life, but it was a learning experience from a lot of point of views. I experienced 2 college coaches. We had to change a coach. Team chemistry, atmosphere, it wasn't the best.
Right.
We needed some changes. And within the program, it just wasn't getting there. So honestly, it was rocky. Even being a leader within the team, it was very hard. But sometimes when things don't happen in the best way you want, it teaches you okay, I don't want it to ever go like that.
Right.
Okay, it teaches you, where did I go wrong? How did I? Okay, and it taught me a lot about myself, how I interact with people, how to talk to people, how what I can do as a leader, because there's another leader above me. So even if I'm a leader on the court and I'm trying to be off the court as well, the power did not lie in my hands.
Right.
And I had to learn how to be content with that, because I like to make sure everybody's okay.
Yep.
So it taught me that, and it just, sometimes change needs to happen.
Yeah.
And it happened, and I think for the future, for the program, I hope to see the success. They have a new coach now, completely new from the program, from the system of being in Clarion and stuff. So I'm hoping we can start winning some more games there. Yeah. Just I'm always hey, it didn't have to happen with me, but at least let it happen with the next group.
Right.
Let them see how to enjoy it again. So that's the best way to put it.
And that's a good like you said, it's a learning experience, but that's just a good teaching point. Not everything is going to go our way in life. Yeah. So it's just the way that you take it. It's the way that you kind of put it out. Hey, I'm learning how to be a leader. I'm learning how to take people with me and kind of just guide them in the right direction, regardless of the results that are going on. Because, in our sport, in any sport, and I tell my younger kids this, I tell my older kids this, and I learned this from our coach here. We don't play to the scoreboard. We play to get better. We play to just keep learning and to progress, because again, there's learning at the end of everything, regardless if it's a win, because you could feel horrible with a win, and regardless of the loss, you can feel good with the loss, and it's vice versa. So that's a great teaching point. So you're done with Clarion. You get your master's. Congratulations to that.
Thank
you have your bachelor's as well.
Yes.
We've talked on the phone the last couple weeks. You called me, hey, I'm gonna go play overseas. Whoa, when did this come about? So talk a little bit about that, because I am so proud of you when it comes to that. So you are going on to be, and honestly, you already are, but you're going on to play professional basketball. So what is that feeling like? What's this process going on right now? Let's dive into a little bit of that.
So honestly, I was hesitant to really let anybody know at first. That's really what it was. Once I got the emails and the calls, I kind of just was like, okay, you can't really make too many moves until the season's over. So I kind of took that time to reflect, pray over it. Hey, I feel like God wouldn't present me an opportunity like this if it wasn't meant for me. So for me, I feel like I never reached my prime with basketball just yet. I had 14 injuries throughout college. We named the big one, but I was always tweaking something just because I play hard. But for me, I feel like the opportunity if you look at my stat line, I'm not the leading scorer for every game. I'm not first team, second team in college. I wasn't. I've been named player of the week and stuff, but I was not leading scorer every time. So for me, I felt like when you're a good person and you just put your head down and work hard, and you know, I'm very spiritual. So when you praise God and you know, you thank Him for what you have,
right.
opportunities and blessings will come your way. And so for me, I felt like this opportunity was literally designed by Him. And so I said to myself, look, okay, we're going to do it. Yeah. We're going to go out and we're going to see what happens. So that's kind of how it started. I didn't want anybody's input. And then I eventually told, you know, my family and everything what's going on. So yeah, that's the process. Now, the process that I'm in right now is preparing, you know, working out and stuff like that. And then I'll be leaving in September to go play in Portugal. And so it's not a full set contract just yet. I will put that out there.
Yep.
It is, you know, an invitation to come out. It's a pro camp. You know, we'll see.
Yep.
And I'm just leaving it in God's hands. Yep. You know, at that point, I did what I had to do. You know, I would play my best that I could despite everything that I went through. And then, you know, I always had my career, which is what I love to do. Yeah. So I'm okay either way it goes. I'm just thankful that the opportunity was even presented.
Right.
You know? So, yeah.
And again, I'm proud of you regardless of, like you said, whatever happens. Like, you know, I personally, you know, I'm putting it in the air. Like, you're going to be perfectly fine. You're going to be perfectly fine. But, you know, again, super proud of you. And, you know, to kind of step away a little bit from the sports atmosphere, you got swag, right? Yeah. I know that's your big thing. So talk to us a little bit about swag, and you know what it is, where it stemmed from, you know, the love of everything that you do with your business swag.
Okay, so first, swag means scholars with athletic, academic, and artistic goals. I give scholarships out to young girls in the community who are able to balance both their academics itself, and anybody who's into the arts as well and their academics. I feel like as women, we sometimes, you get behind the shadow a little bit just because it's supposed to be our norm that we're smart or that we can balance everything and it's easier for us. Right. But that's not always true. And so for me, reason why swag even started is because school was not always easy for me. I was a student that had my mom's a principal. If she didn't like the first sentence, she's throwing the whole essay away. I'm starting all over. Like, you know, I'm writing my words out over and over to remember. I'm doing flashcards like every day. So, yes, I'm an honor roll student. Yes, I graduated undergrad, magna. Yes, you know, master's, summa. But, like, honestly, school does not come easy. It takes a lot of work for me to have these great grades. So, I'm like, I'm an athlete and I'm working my butt off. Like, I'm barely getting some sleep in here. Like, and so when I was in middle school, I kind of realized that the boys were getting, you know, the awards for balance, like a B average, and they were decent at their sport. But like you said, I was playing with some boys, so I was like, I could be him, like, you know. So at that point, it kind of, for me, I said, okay, there was no awards to spotlight that, the balance of both. So if I can't get that award, I want to give it to a young girl. And that's kind of where it started. I reached out to my head of school at that time, Sister Ellen. Well, she's still there. Sister Ellen was just embracive to it. She's like, hey, if you want to do it, I love it. Let's do it. So I ended up starting it. It was called the Jada Smith Distinguished Student Athlete Award. And so came up this year with 10 years. This is my 10th year of giving that award. Wow. So it was very moving year, to say the least, but it started from that. In 2019, I then put everything under one umbrella because I started doing IM workshops. So that was me going out to schools. I'm talking about positive self-esteem. We're journaling, we're reflecting, we're having, you know, conversations about our self-worth. Being a young girl, how do you feel being a young girl in sports when you are playing against a guy and they say like, oh, you too aggressive to be a girl, how do you handle that, you know? And they don't really have anybody to talk to that, you know, about. It's kind of like, I don't really know how to feel about it. You know, you don't really want to say anything to mom or grandma. They might make it bigger, or whoever, you know, you live with. So just being able to go in and talk to those young girls to pick their mind about different things that they're going through, I think it's a beautiful thing. And when I actually got injured, the first group of girls I spoke to, they all wrote me letters back. So that's when I kind of realized, you know, it goes full circle. You know, what you put out, you get back as well. And that's when I was like, all right, I'm gonna put it all under one umbrella. And then I became swag. And swag only, I like the word swag because I just like to be swaggy. Right. And then the acronym worked out. So yeah.
That is fantastic. I mean, it's really kind of like a speechless thing because, you know, not everybody our age can kind of just go out and do stuff the way that we do it. We're taking things and we're going and giving back to our communities. Like, I mean, yeah, we see it. We see it all the time, but not with people our age. Yeah. Like, we're 24, 25, 26 years old and kind of just, you know, doing stuff for the youth, and they see us do it and they're like, they just connect with us. And that's why I love to coach. That's why I love to have this, you know, my AAU team, because the young generation connects with us on a different level. Yes. And they appreciate it, you know, even if they don't say it. Like, they appreciate it. You can tell it in their face. Like, right. But we learned from a generation of older coaches and older people that, you know, show us love in a different way. And now we give it back to these younger people at our age, and it's just a different thing. So again, like, I'm just super proud of you and what you're accomplishing right now with everything. So
thank you. You too.
Thank you. Couple more questions for you. Now, you know, you talk about, you know, doing the scholarship thing and, you know, giving that out. I know you've contacted me about clothing and everything, and you rocking some gear and stuff like that. So talk a little bit about that part.
Yeah, so I have merchandise. So I have like this shirt. I have 3 sets of different styles for hoodies, and then I have 2 styles of t-shirts, and everything's on my website, swag, www.swag4agirl.com, and all proceeds go towards the scholarships and workshops. So that's just kind of, you know, I want to continue to expand on getting, you know, things that the kids want to wear and what they like, and as well as adults, because adults like to support. Yes, I got you too. Yes. But just kind of want them to be comfortable, want them to understand. Like, I remember growing up, we had a debate in class. This is growing up, actually high school. We had a debate in class about how hard it is to find a doll that looks like you. So now, I mean, yes, we have a Barbie that looks like us now, and et cetera. And I had an American Girl doll, but not every girl can go to American Girl doll store. Right. But just the chance to see, you know, like when my friends send me a picture or they'll see somebody out, like, oh my gosh, you got your shirt on. It's like, it's a warm feeling because they're proud to wear that brown girl because it looks like them. They'll ask their mom, can you do my hair like how the girl is on the shirt? And so for me, that's embracing who we are. Little do they know that, but like, that's embracing. They see something in that. They know, like, that girl looks like me. I want to wear that. So it's just an empowerment movement, you know, for us just to come together and just, you know, love who we are. Right. I like that.
Yeah, definitely. A couple more, just like I said, a couple more quick hitter questions. What does or what has your daily routine look like in terms of basketball?
In terms of life, honestly, okay, so I work out in the morning. Okay. It varies every day, but I try to get workout in the morning, whether that's running, lifting, or basketball. Okay. Then I usually go to work right after. So I usually, it varies because I'm a therapist, so depending on the schedule, I usually try to get out of there around 3:34, sometimes 5 or 7. So, right. You know, it definitely varies for what the clients in their schedule, you know, what works best for them. Then after that, I have another workout, or sometimes I still have my godbrother's game, so I'm going to my godbrother's game, and then I'm going to a workout. So basically, I'm trying to just stay on 2 days because I'm still working, you know, in the midst of that. So I probably get home around, you know, like 9, 10, depending on the day. Yeah. And then, you know, shower, eat, and then I try to just, you know, ice my knees if needed, or I'm just kind of reading up on the game, whatever that may look like, you know, watching videos of what I did throughout the season, seeing what else I could do, and kind of just getting ready for the next day. Yeah. And if needed, like if I can at night, I might do, you know, knock out a 10 I don't go too crazy on the push-ups. 10 good ones. 10 good ones. Y'all gonna get 10 good ones from me. I probably should go up to 20, but y'all gonna get 10. Yeah. 10 good ones. Yeah. So, yeah. Okay. And then I just try to, you repeat the cycle. I try to take Sunday off just to give my body a full recovery. Okay. But that's what it's kind of looking like, hill workouts, getting more hydro workouts,
You say hills, that Wednesdays. We know what Wednesdays were.
Yeah. I love
those.
Wednesdays, though.
I did not like Wednesdays. I was not a fan of Mondays or Wednesdays, but they were mandatory with Coach Link. So, last question for you. Mm-hmm. You talk. You're a therapist. You have your program. You have your program with Swag. How important is an athlete's public image?
So important. Just the way, you might not think it's that deep, but it is. Right. They're always watching. You see how you want to work with people from it, honestly, because it's what you control you post. Yep. It's not anybody else on your account. That's what you decided to post. Yep. That you don't need to share every emotion that you kind of are going through, because why does the public need to know? Right. So pay attention to what you have on. Would you want to have work for you? Like, would you want to hire yourself? Right. In the same way when you're thinking about an athlete, you're going to represent a program. Mm-hmm. Like, you're not just playing basketball for them. Like, you have to fit the character. You got to make sure you can do the work to stay on the team. So they want usually a full whole package. That might take some stuff, but they want more so the full whole package, because you're going to represent the university in a positive way, which is what they want. Because even if they don't have the success, they have good people. Yeah. So, pay attention to your image. A lot of times, you think about stuff before you post it. Everything. If you feel the need to post something about your feelings or emotions, we have this new thing on Instagram called a close friends. Do that. Do not post on your main story so the whole public can see. Yeah. And be observant who also is in that close friends, though. Yep. Be mindful, because you never know who's trying to who's going to screenshot what you did to send it to somebody else. Things get around. Right. So I just would say, it's okay to take a step away from social media as well. Mm-hmm. Everything does not need to be posted. I know there's a lot of things being posted, and even if I want to just say this one thing, because I know there's kids out there who sometimes stress when they see like this other kid got an offer and stuff like that, and it breaks my heart, because I didn't have to go through that. I mean, they put up, some parents will put up certain things, but I didn't really see all that these kids are seeing now. And while that's a great thing, because we don't want to belittle people who make these accomplishments, it's good to show what you got as well. Yeah. But those kids who don't compare yourself, because everybody's journey is different. Yeah. And I just want to say that, because I know some kids struggle deeply with that. You rushing it. You do not want to rush what school is meant for you. And while that kid may have the offer now, they can lose it tomorrow. Yeah. So that's just one thing, I just wanted to put that out there. Just work your own journey. Like I told y'all, I wasn't the leading scorer and everything. I mean, I was great in high school, all that, but college, I was solid. Yeah. Wasn't the greatest, but I was solid. Right. Sometimes that's just all you need. Right. So yeah.
Well, Jay, I am. Again, I can tell you this all the time. I'm super proud of you and everything that you've accomplished thus far, and that you're going to continue to accomplish, regardless if it's basketball, swag, you open up another business, whatever you do. I'm 100% or 1,000% proud of you and where you've come, and what you've become, and you're going to continue to grow by faith, not by sight. So continue to just do what you do, and thank you for coming on the pod.
Yeah, thank you for having me, and I appreciate everything you said. Of course. And you're doing amazing things too. Don't forget. Yeah.
All right, that's a wrap.